Hello everyone and welcome. Now with the recent availability of Apple's HomePod mini smart speaker system that I decided to buy one to try out and see how it fared in the audio performance department relative to my existing Google Nest Hub display as you see here in the center and my Amazon Echo 3rd Gen on the far left. Now, Apple's HomePod Mini is actually a welcome introduction because the HomePod full-size version is a whopping $400 Canadian. And so at $129 that I figured it's worth trying since it is in a comparable price class to some of these other similar devices. Now, I do want to quickly stress here that this comparison is a relative audio performance comparison and not an absolute straight across the board comparison, because if I were to do that, I should have been comparing an Echo 4th Gen against, say, a Nest Juke, which unfortunately I don't have. So here goes nothing. All the speakers are going to be played at the maximum volume level, so you guys can hear the dynamic range, listen for any distortion and clipping, and then at the end of the video I'm going to be giving you my 2 cents on what I hear with my own ears. Now the test conditions are in a bedroom, my master bedroom, that is about 17 by 15 feet in dimension. This is being recorded on an iPhone 7 using an external Rode lapel microphone to hopefully pick up those sounds so you guys can hear them a little bit better. So let's just dive right in. Starting off with the HomePod Mini.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out and I'll lay your ship bare. See, I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all.
Okay, so HomePod Mini sounds remarkably good, and given its 3.3 inch in height and its overall diminutive size, that it actually blew me away at how good it actually sounded. The bass, while not exceptionally deep, was very pronounced without sounding muddy. The highs are not piercing, right? And yet they're not muddied out such that I couldn't hear the highs. So I would say that I could actually listen to this HomePod Mini all day long at maximum volume and not experience listener fatigue. So really impressive already out the gates. Let's see how the Nest Hub fares up.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out and I'll lay your ship bare. See, I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all.
There is the Nest Hub. Clearly the bass is very lacking in this speaker, and the highs are, well, they're actually not too bad. But the issue here is that the music just doesn't sound very engaging because the dynamic range is relatively poor compared to the HomePod Mini. This is definitely not one of my favorite speakers that I would ever use to listen to music, whether it's at maximum or even at a turned down level. It's missing a lot, and so this definitely is not something I would recommend. Lastly, let's go ahead and try out the Echo 3rd Gen.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out and I'll lay your ship bare. See, I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all.
So the Echo 3rd Gen is definitely the loudest of the three speakers. It is actually quite a bit louder, if not outright deafening. It also has the deepest amount of bass, which isn't a surprise because, I mean, the size of this thing is essentially double that of the HomePod, nearly double the HomePod, and it also weighs probably 2, maybe even 3 times heavier than the HomePod itself. While this one is louder and has more bass, that I find that at maximum volumes that it starts to either clip or distort, and the sound starts to get all muddy, and it just doesn't sound like there's a lot of airiness to the music, if that makes any sense. Now, granted, all of these speakers are essentially running in mono mode, and they actually do have algorithms to help sort of optimize how the speaker sounds through sort of auto EQ functionalities by using their microphones built into them to get that room feedback so it makes the speaker sound its best. Here is one final testing tidbit. I cracked a second HomePod mini out to place on the desk alongside the one that we were testing to see how this fares up in, I guess, stereo playback mode. Now, smart speakers traditionally, at least in my home, have been always run in single speaker mode in each of the rooms. And so when this ecosystem that you're using detects that it's got another companion device, that it's smart enough to move into stereo mode so that it gives you a fuller, better sounding experience. And what Apple's doing is nothing new. The Amazon Echo product as well as the Google Nest products have been doing this for years. In the app, right, we can have it here playing on the Google, but then select the bedroom speaker. And right now it's just the one, and we can actually select master bedroom. And it will know intelligently to merge the speakers together to put it into stereo mode.
Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out and I'll lay your ship bare. See, I'll leave with every piece of you.
Well, that is really interesting. You can definitely hear the stereo separation between the speakers, and there was not a single speaker that was biased more to one over the other. It actually sounded like a stereo boombox, if you will. And of course, when you spread the speakers further and further apart, that you're obviously going to get more of that stereo separation performance from these devices. So really cool. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And thanks for watching.